The turkey had just been placed on the table when my 83-year-old grandmother suddenly stood up, pointed directly at me, and shouted, "How could you betray this family after everything we sacrificed for you?" Every conversation stopped. 23 relatives turned to stare at me. I couldn't even answer because I honestly had no idea what she was talking about. Then she reached into her purse and pulled out a thick folder with my name written across the front. My heart sank. But when I finally opened it, I realized someone had spent months building an elaborate lie, and everyone in that room had believed it except me. My name is Emma Collins. I'm 37 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the dependable one in my family. I was the one who remembered birthdays without needing reminders, the one who drove Grandma to doctor's appointments after Grandpa passed away, the one everyone called whenever something broke, someone needed advice, or a crisis suddenly appeared. I never imagined that the very people I'd spent my entire life helping would one day look at me as if I were a complete stranger. That Thanksgiving started like every other one. The old farmhouse smelled of roasted turkey, cinnamon pies, fresh bread, and wood smoke drifting from the fireplace. Cars filled the gravel driveway while laughter floated through the open front door. I hadn't been home in almost 4 months. Work had been overwhelming. I managed commercial real estate contracts for a law firm in Chicago, and several large projects had kept me traveling almost non-stop. When I walked inside, Grandma hugged me tightly, but something felt different. Her smile disappeared almost as quickly as it appeared. My aunt barely looked at me. 2 of my cousins suddenly stopped talking when I entered the kitchen. Even my younger brother, Tyler, seemed unusually quiet. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe everyone was disappointed that I'd missed 2 family birthdays because of work. I promised myself I'd make more time next year. Dinner was finally served. More than 20 family members gathered around the long oak table my grandfather had built with his own hands nearly 40 years earlier. For a few minutes, everything felt normal. People passed mashed potatoes. Children laughed. Someone argued about football. My uncle complained that the turkey was smaller than last year's. Then Grandma quietly placed her fork on the table. The room slowly fell silent. She pushed back her chair and stood. Her hands trembled slightly as she looked directly into my eyes. "Emma," I smiled. "Yes, Grandma?" Her voice suddenly became cold. "How could you betray this family after everything we've done for you?" The words hit me like a slap. Every face turned toward me. "I'm sorry?" Without another word, Grandma reached into her purse and placed a thick brown folder in front of me. "I trusted you." My stomach tightened. Inside were legal papers, property records, transfer documents. Several pages carried what looked exactly like my signature. Grandma pointed toward them. "You secretly sold the lake property your grandfather wanted to keep in the family." For a second, I honestly thought I had misheard her. "What?" "You sold it, took the money, and never told anyone." The room exploded. I knew something wasn't right. That's why she stopped coming home. I heard she'd been hiding something. So that's where all the business trips were. Every accusation came from someone I loved. But instead of defending myself, I did what my career had trained me to do. I read. The first page looked convincing, until I noticed the county recording seal. It was blurry. Official county seals are embossed before they're scanned. This one had clearly been copied from another document. I turned another page. The legal description listed Parcel 14B. Our family property had always been Parcel 14A. Another page. The font changed halfway through. Different spacing, different margins, different date format. Then I reached the signature page. It looked almost identical to mine. Almost. Whoever forged it had overlooked one tiny detail. I always wrote my middle initial with a small loop. This signature didn't. Most people would never notice. I noticed immediately. I slowly closed the folder. I'm not going to argue with anyone. Several relatives exchanged confused looks. Instead, I asked one simple question. Who gave Grandma these papers? Silence. Finally, my cousin Melissa spoke. Ryan? I looked at her. He said he found them while organizing Grandpa's old files. Ryan, my oldest cousin, confident, funny, the kind of person everyone naturally trusted. Melissa glanced toward the front window. He couldn't make dinner because of work. Almost on cue, headlights swept across the windows. A black SUV pulled into the driveway. The front door opened. Ryan walked inside carrying a pecan pie. "Sorry I'm late, everyone." Then he noticed the folder sitting open on the table. His smile disappeared, only for a second. Then he forced it back. "Did I interrupt something?" I looked directly at him. "No, you arrived at exactly the right time." The room was completely silent. Ryan slowly placed the pie on the counter. "What's going on?" Grandma answered. "I confronted Emma." His eyes moved toward the documents. "I see." His voice sounded calm, too calm. I pulled out the chair across from me. "Sit down." He hesitated. "I'm fine standing." I wasn't asking. After a long pause, he finally sat. I slid the folder toward him. "You said you found these in Grandpa's files." "That's right." "When?" "A few months ago." "You know what I do for a living?" He shrugged. "Something with legal contracts." "I review legal documents every single day." The room became completely still. I pointed toward the county seal. "This is fake." Ryan frowned. "What do you mean?" "The seal was copied." I flipped another page. "The parcel number is wrong." Another page. "The formatting changes halfway through." Finally, I tapped the signature. "And this isn't my signature." Ryan leaned forward. "It looks exactly like yours." "It looks similar." I picked up a pen. On a blank napkin, I signed my name. Then I circled my middle initial. "I've written it exactly this way since high school." Everyone leaned closer. Even Grandma adjusted her glasses. My father quietly whispered, "She's right." Ryan swallowed. "Maybe it's just a photocopy." "No." I reached into my purse. "I brought something." I opened my tablet. Because of my work, I kept secure cloud access to thousands of legal records. Within seconds, I opened certified copies of Grandpa's estate documents that I had helped organize years earlier. I turned the screen toward everyone. "The property has never been transferred." My uncle compared the official records with the papers on the table. "They're completely different." Ryan's confidence vanished. Grandma slowly turned toward him. "You told me Emma sold it." He looked at the floor. "You told me she'd been hiding the money." His shoulders slumped. I needed everyone to believe it." The room fell silent. My father spoke first. "Why?" Ryan covered his face with both hands. "I borrowed money." Nobody interrupted. "I invested in a construction company." "It failed." "How much?" my uncle quietly asked. Ryan closed his eyes. "Almost $400,000. Several people gasped. "I couldn't repay it." His voice cracked. "I thought if everyone believed Emma had already sold the property, I'd have enough time to figure out another way." My aunt looked horrified. "You forged legal documents?" He nodded. "And forged Emma's signature?" Another nod. "You let Grandma believe her own granddaughter stole from the family?" Ryan started crying. I never thought it would go this far. Grandma slowly sat back down. She looked 20 years older. Then she turned toward me, her eyes filled with tears. "Emma." Her voice barely came out. "I'm so sorry." I walked around the table and gently held her hands. "You believe someone you loved." She shook her head. "No. I believed the easiest story instead of asking you." Tears rolled down her face. "I failed you." I hugged her. For several long moments, nobody spoke. Then my younger brother quietly stood. "I owe you an apology, too." One by one, everyone else did the same. Some cried. Some couldn't even look me in the eyes. Others simply whispered, "I'm sorry." Not a single apology erased what had happened, but every sincere one helped begin repairing it. Ryan admitted everything. Over the following weeks, he confessed the entire scheme to the authorities, his creditors, and the family attorney. The forged documents became evidence. Thankfully, no property had ever been transferred, and no permanent financial damage had been done. His debts were eventually settled through honest negotiations instead of lies. The legal consequences were his responsibility. The emotional consequences belonged to all of us. Grandma called me every Sunday after that Thanksgiving, not because she felt guilty, because she wanted to rebuild what had been broken. Sometimes we'd talk for an hour. Sometimes we'd simply drink coffee together over video chat. Before ending every call, she always said the same thing: "Thank you for giving me another chance." And every time I answered, "Families deserve second chances when they're willing to earn them." That Thanksgiving changed our family forever, not because someone lied. Families can survive lies. What nearly destroyed us was how quickly everyone accepted a story without asking the person being accused. I learned that trust isn't protected by loving someone. It's protected by verifying the truth before passing judgment. And sometimes the strongest person in the room isn't the one who argues the loudest. It's the one who stays calm long enough for the truth to speak for itself. That day, I didn't save my reputation by shouting. I saved it by letting the facts do what anger never could. The truth eventually speaks. You only have to give it the chance.